So April is Autism Acceptance Month. Autism parenting often comes with a lot of advice, especially in these early years, focused on managing behaviors, which can feel like you're a little out of control. But today's guest says that approach can actually cause families to miss something critical. So Tanyika Butler is an autism mom, an educator of nearly 3 decades. You also are a speaker who says the goal really isn't to control the behavior, but to build the systems, to build the people who can help you manage this journey that you're on.
Yes.
I want to show first, if I could show the picture of Tanyika and her daughter. Beautiful young lady. I love it. You know, that's when she was younger.
Yes.
Her first day of middle school.
Yes.
And then class of 2020. Tell me a little bit about your daughter first.
Oh gosh, Kendall is now 24. I like to tell people that right off the back. And she has an autism diagnosis along with an intellectual disability. Kendall is a superstar in her own mind, is what I tell everyone. She walks around, and for her, it's like greeting everyone, which is something we're so proud of because that's something we worked on so much.
Because that eye to eye, that personal interaction with people is tough for kids with autism.
Yes, it is. And so that was something we worked on. So we really love to see that when she's out and about, she greets people. She wants to engage as best she possibly can because her verbal skills still are limited. But she is definitely this bubbly, happy. Once you meet her, you never forget. You never forget Miss Kendall. That's the main thing we always hear.
When was she diagnosed with autism?
Well, our journey started with one statement. One of our friends said, I think Kendall has a hearing problem. And that started our journey with autism. So Kendall actually received a diagnosis before the age of 2.
Oh, that's good too,
Yes, but this was early on. So we're talking about 2003 when no one was really talking about autism. And so for our family, we just figured, you know what? With a little speech therapy, everything would be okay. Because Kendall has a brother and they're 14 months apart. So we figured she'll catch up with him. And then our reality hit once we enrolled both kids in daycare. And so the daycare, basically, they understood she was autistic, but then one day I walked in and the director sat me down and she said, we can't handle Kendall and we need this Friday to be her last day.
Oh, wow.
But your son can stay.
Yeah.
That was our eye opener, that this was going to be something that was a little different.
Right. How did you handle that moment? Because I think as a parent, you're like, I need something for her. I need somebody to love her. And if you can't do that, you know, then I got to figure something else out. But that's a huge pivot for your life.
It was, because first we had to process the fact that you're saying you're putting our child out of a daycare. So that was the first part.
And then the why.
The why, and then her brother. You said her brother could stay. And so having children that are 14 months apart, you see everything staying together for the 2 kids. They're going to be on this journey back to back. And we had to make a hard decision because he was thriving and she was not.
Okay, so he stayed.
We left him and he continued to thrive. And so what we realized then is that it's not always going to be convenient. It's going to be what best works for your children. And so that opened our eyes because we then went on a journey of finding daycares for her. I would call right after we received that message because my husband and I both worked. So I would hear things like, I don't even know why I'm on your list.
Wow.
Please take us off your list.
As a place that she could go?
Yes, as a daycare. So we were on a roller coaster with daycares until she was able to start school at the age of 3. And it's not just our story. A lot of parents have that struggle. And some parents, unfortunately, have to stop working.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I mean, with you were able to stay working, your husband, but you couldn't have done that alone, right?
No. We are truly a tag team system. It works out for us because that's a big part of what I try to explain to people. It impacts the family. It's not just the child. And she has a brother. And so our thoughts were always, how do we make sure he has a life and she has a life?
And they're so close. We have a picture. I don't know if you've shown it. I've been looking you in the eye, but there's a picture. Yeah, there we go. The family folks. Look at how handsome. She's beautiful too, the whole family.
Thank you.
I mean, you said this has been a journey even for him and to leave and go to college. It was hard for him to leave her.
They're 14 months apart, so he really had no memory without her. She's always been a background noise of, you know, I can remember when I delivered and he was this little, you know, child running around the hospital while I was delivering his sister. And they told me I couldn't pick him up because I delivered by C-section. And I was like, oh no. I was like, I have to pick my baby up. Like, no, I have to get him to understand he's okay, you know, even though he has a sister. So it's been important for us to always make sure he had a life, but we didn't think about how much it would be impactful for him to leave her.
To leave her, yeah.
Yes.
I think we talked on the phone, I think probably for like 20 minutes.
Yes,
because
yes.
I was so just kind of fascinated with your journey. You say, I'm just going to say a few of the things that you shared. You know, she's going to be with you for her entire life, your entire life, and you will be a caretaker for her.
Yes.
You know, you were saying, this is you guys at the beach. You said you got to plan when you do a vacation.
Yes,
You have to make sure that someone's with her and loving her and making sure that she's okay. So this has been a way of life for you, your sisters, your family members. I mean, everyone's had to chip in.
Yes, and I explain to people as well, family doesn't always have to be blood. Because I don't live here in state, but my family is here in Florida. And so I've been able to find friends that were willing to learn, and that's what you want. You want someone that's willing to learn about autism, learn about your systems that you have in place, and be willing to step in when you need them, because you never know when you're going to need them. Yes, most definitely.
And so I think one thing that really, and we'll talk about some of the resources that you provide others, but it is a mindset, right?
Yes, it is.
It's something that your life is.
Autism, it is, but you have to find joy on the journey. That's so important. You've got to accept first that the life you thought you were going to have has changed.
Right.
That's the first part.
How long did it take you to do that?
You know, I get hiccups along the way ever so often, so it doesn't completely go away.
Okay.
But the first step to moving forward is accepting. And you're going to keep coming across where you're like, I don't want to accept it at this point again. And different things, as different milestones, you start to realize your child will not reach. And that's the hard part. You know, you move along thinking, how will things go? You never know. And then you hit, they're never going to get a driver's license.
You're wrapping me, but
I'm sorry.
no, you're good. Look, you know I love talking with you. So just because I do want families to know, you know, a crusade for Kendall. You have a workbook as well. We can take that number, the 7-shot. How can people read more about your story, what you do, and the resources that are available through you?
They can follow, you know, we have a page, Crusade for Kendall, and it's Kendall Autism Support and Consulting. And basically, I share our story and our journey and different techniques, because for me, it's all about systems.
Right.
When you have support, everyone thrives. And it's not just the child thrives, the siblings thrive, because there's predictability. And when you have predictability, it keeps your child calm. And so when I explain to people about the importance of predictability, think about a fly, how it's unpredictable moving around. My daughter can't stand flies.
Right,
because it's so unpredictable, but a crawling insect,
she can stay there forever. So you figure it out. All right, so the workbook is all available. Follow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Sisters, come here real quick. Run in here real quick, because I just got to show this beautiful family. You know, two of the sisters are here locally. Came down for an event. So love you ladies, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you follow. I mean, I think it's so powerful to hear firsthand this journey that you're on with joy. With joy and surrounded by others. Put me on the team too, Coach.
Will do. Thank you.